Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Digital Open Days with POLI.design. My name is Lavinia, and it will be my pleasure today to moderate this presentation. Here today with us are Professor Andrea Gaggioli and Professor Venanzio Arquilla, respectively Scientific Director at Cattolica and Scientific Director. We will present today the master course in user experience psychology. I remind you all that you have the possibility to ask your questions by leaving them in the Q&A box. So please don't be shy. We will take care of them and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Therefore, I think we can start. Thank you, professors. I will now leave the floor to you. And I will see you at the end for the Q&A session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and welcome everybody to this presentation of the master. This is the second edition of the User Experience Psychology Masters. We had a really good, let's say, first edition, also dealing with the COVID situation. So we hope that this new edition will be better than the ones before, because we hope to be back in present. User experience today that is really relevant, and also is something that is more and more, let's say, requested by the market. So this masters is an original version, or an original, let's say, vision of the user experience, because it combines together both the design side, I'm a representative for Politecnico di Milano, and the psychological side. Here there is the Professor Andrea Gaggioli from University Cattolica. This is something new and unexpected, because it's the first time two big universities like Università Cattolica and Politecnico di Milano, with their strong commitment, are together with one specific master, 1 year master, and specializing in the user experience psychology. Andrea, do you want to build something?
Thank you, Venanzio. Thank you for the organization. Welcome, everyone. As my colleague told you, the word experience is one of the most frequently term used today in innovation strategies of companies and organizations. So either you are developing an e-commerce website, a digital learning environment, an application for a mobile phone, an interactive exhibition. In all these cases, the goal is to achieve an optimal experience. So what is an optimal experience? An optimal experience is not just making a functional system or product, is making this product enjoyable, and the experience associated to this product emotionally engaging and possibly memorable, or in addition to aesthetically pleasing. So, as Venanzio told you, achieving this result requires the ability to understand people's needs, to understand their expectations, their motivations, but also it requires the ability of evaluating the result of such an experience. To achieve this optimal experience, you need to combine the competencies and skills of design and the competencies and skills of psychology. It is quite obvious why design is relevant to user experience. Maybe it is less obvious why psychology is relevant to user experience. Well, psychology is relevant to user experience because psychology is all about understanding experience. So psychology is an empirical discipline that has developed many techniques and methods to understand the user, for example, in terms of interviews, focus groups, but also experimental research. So combining this knowledge with the design knowledge is the key to create professionals who have the complete curriculum and expertise to address the challenges related to the new frontiers of user experience and related fields.
Yeah, this is exactly the reason why we defined this kind of product, and also the reason why we try to differentiate our offers in relation to the other UX courses and master that are in the market. And this is also certified by the agreement that we had with many and relevant companies starting from the first edition. So the idea is that this is a really professionalizing masters. We don't want to create any, let's say, contradiction. This is a, let's say, opportunity for designer to know something more about, let's say, psychology remaining in the design field, and also at the same time is an opportunity for psychologists to understand something more about design. But we don't assure to everyone to move from one point to the other one. The idea is that to maintain a mixed reality or a mixed valuable contribution to the your activity inside the organization. So this is the list of the partners that is continuously updating, and these are also the partners where the first edition students are in placement in this moment. So this is a really good pleasure for us, and this is a really good opportunity. So the main goal of our master is the one of giving you a in-depth knowledge about the, let's say, the question to deliver the right UX for product and services. So this is one point that we need to stress. Andrea was mentioning before, all the way UX today is represented, and we can say that we can go farther than the actual situation where UX is, let's say, intended as something related to digital devices, because today we are evolving in a more complex scenario that needs UX. For example, automotive UX is one of the fields that we intercepted last year, and we worked for our project work. The idea is to define a sort of professional profile in output for the master. So the idea is to give you an hands-on activities, because today digital is evolving, because today digital is becoming pervasive, and for this reason we need a professionalization and a broader vision about your future. So you don't will learn, let's say, basic tools, but you will learn the way to use the best tool for the project that you need to develop. And in this sense, the structure is interdisciplinary at the heart. So as you have seen, we start from a double perspective, and we try to make this double perspective converging, merging both the, let's say, technical part and the design-oriented part, and the psychological knowledge that is needed to better understand the user. Okay, we are the directors, but also we presented ourselves before, and so it's no needed to go deeper in this, but the idea is that they are represented here, Università Cattolica and Politecnico di Milano, and also the Experience Design Academy. This because we have different questions. So the master will take place in Università Cattolica in Milan City Center. Some activity can be done in POLI.design, Politecnico di Milano, just to give you both the flavor of the different university, but the master is not closed as a, let's say, a standard didactic activity, but is open to the community of experience design in Milan and internationally. Because we organize also together with the master also UX talks and many events to give you the opportunity to be part of this community, and also to access to the latest research and also project innovation that are in this kind of field defined. So in this sense, we think that the product is hands-on. Which are the main or the mix of field that we want to practice? So the idea is to be oriented with practice, and to do this, we will give you a lot of project to do, and we want to join also the didactic activity with the exercise that will represent the general and the standard or an ideal method to assess the UX design problems. To doing this, we want to follow an interdisciplinary approach that is given by both the school that are, let's say, involved in this product, but also we want to personalize the learnings. This is because the profile of the students that will, let's say, be part of the master are different, and we want to maintain and enrich in quality this kind of difference, because we think that standard profile are not needed in this kind of competitive world. For doing this, we want to have, let's say, a control of the situation and a continuous dialogue between teaching staff and students. For that reason, we want to stay in a, let's say, small and interactive classes. Small because we came from Italy. We are used in Politecnico to have more than 100 students in our classroom, and also I think is the same for Università Cattolica. Yes. So for us, working with 25 students is something not easy, because nothing is easy, but it's something that is like a dream. So to know each other at the best, to have an open and direct dialogue together with students and teachers in a peer perspective. So the idea is to grow up together with the project. And also the idea is that our interdisciplinary approach will be characterized also by the contribution of a lot of professionals. So the idea is that the teaching staff is mixed in between professors, academics, but also professional, coming from the company that you have seen before, or maybe coming from the market in this sense. The master will be in presence. We hope that we can do this second edition in presence, but we are ready for blended learning if needed in relation to the COVID evolution. All of us is dreaming today that this kind of attempt to back to the normal will remain, and we are doing our best. So all of us is vaccinated. We are working in defining the best environment, and I'm in Politecnico in a room where there was before a lesson. So we think that this can be maintained. But one of the question that we need to clarify is that the master will be in presence. We can discuss some, let's say, on distance presence only for students coming from specific region where maybe it's not possible to come to Milan, but we want to have all the students in present as soon as will be possible by the situation, the COVID situation. Every student will have an internship. This internship will be provided by the master's courses, and the master will do an analysis about the profile of the students and try to make, let's say, a combination in between what the market is looking for and which are the attitude and also the ambition of the students. And we verified after the first run of this kind of, let's say, combination that today the market is really responsive to this kind of profile, and we found the best, let's say, combination possible in relation to the aspiration of our students. Which are the, let's say, our best students? To us, the best question is the motivation. So this field is challenging. It's multidisciplinary, but is, let's say, something that is achievable if you wish, if you are open to learn new, let's say, tool, new methods, new culture in terms of approaching design project and also psychological activities. So for us, there is no the perfect candidates. We are looking for a mixed classroom, and we verified also last year that having mixed group, we will try to do a balance in between half and half designer and humanistic profile. But not only designer, but also there were last year a couple of architects, a couple of engineer, software engineer that have some, let's say, ambition to be part of this UX world. and the community. So for us, the commitment is relevant, and the motivation is the key that want to stress your profile. Every, let's say, students that want to attend the master will be interviewed by me, Professor Gaggioli, and our staff that from Davide Genco and Sofia Scatena, that are our coordinator. And in this sense, we want to, let's say, personalize the pathway and also analyze the motivation that are behind your request. Andrea, interrupt me, or maybe you want to present this part?
It's completely fine. If you want, I can go on with the career. So as Venanzio told us, the goal of the training is to form professionals who are able to combine high-level competencies in design, which includes, for example, research, prototyping, conceptual development, evaluation, and on the other side, a psychological ability of understanding the user's needs and expectations. So students who will complete successfully this master can develop their professional career in different paths within user experience. You know that user experience is a discipline, but it includes several, let's say, flavors or directions that you can pursue. So the list is included here: user experience designer, UX researcher, interaction designer, UX specialist, product designer, usability analyst. These are some of the potential outcome in terms of careers that you can build, drawing on the skills passed by this master. It's important to emphasize that doing this master will not turn you into a psychologist if you are a designer. On the other way, you are not becoming a designer if your start is a psychology background. So, of course, you will get knowledge and skills from both these disciplines, which creates a unique mix that you can take advantage for your future career. But it is important to clarify that this master gives you the possibility of further specializing, adding knowledge, integrating new competences, because of course a designer is a designer and a psychologist is a psychologist. But here is the beauty of our program, in my opinion. You will have the unique opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds and work with them shoulder by shoulder in real simulation environments, but also in real professional cases. So I think that it's very enriching in terms of students' experience to have the possibility of learning from students from different fields, in addition to what you can learn from the faculty.
Yeah, this is exactly the reason why we defined this, let's say, mixed approach. And this is the core modules about the process that we want to establish. So the first things is user experience research. And in this module, you will find, let's say, the principle, the method, and the basis of the user needs. And this will be mainly driven by psychologists and driven by also designer expert in user research. The second part is the practice. So is how to transfer this kind of user need in some design idea, in something that maybe the user don't expect in this way. And you will have theoretical and practical basis about design and about the tool to do design. So we verified last year that some students had no experience at all about, let's say, drawing tools or maybe prototyping tools. This will be not a problem because you will learn during the pathway that we were developing, and also you will learn in the project, also from the other students, as Andrea was saying before. So the peer learning will be will have a lot of value. At the end of this, there is a system of evaluation. So we want to go back to the psychological knowledge, but also we want to give you tools and methods about qualitative evaluation, just because better understanding, better design, and reviewing the project, because today there is no project that closes itself in one way or in one funnel or direct perspective, because every project is a perpetual beta or always open. So you need to review every time your project, because we live in a service society where the experiences are connected in an evolutive pathway, and also maybe need to adapt to different kind of user. So this is the basic structure, and this structure will be followed by, let's say, a more structured didactic activities that will be, let's say, linked to practical activities that are one project works. And this project work will be during all the didactic and, let's say, theoretical pathway, because you will have for every theoretical module an exercise that will be connected to a project work that the faculty will establish with the partner, external partner. So every one of these will have a real environment, real partner, and real feedback to you. And the second option is a workshop side. So last year we had not one workshop, but two workshops, and we are working also to do this, but at least you will have a 2-week sprint session workshop that will close the didactic activities and will give you the, let's say, moving from didactic and theoretical perspective, also with some practice, to a real situation where in 2 weeks you need to solve a problem. Again, with the partner, and again, with a complex, let's say, scenario, but closest to a real professional environment. 2 weeks in a professional world are long time. In didactic activities, 2 weeks is a short time. So we want to switch in between, let's say, theory and practice in a better possible way. These are the modules. And this is the synthetic syllabus about the situation. As you can see, there will be an overlapping, or there will be, we will start with the user experience psychology principle, and then we will have design and UX principle. This model will be connected and integrated, and then we will move to user research tools, and then creativity, soft skill, and user design, UX design practice. As you can see, the project work will be there. So every exercise connected to the model will be, let's say, will become real inside the project work. And then at the end, there will be qualitative and quantitative evaluation and design evaluation method and tools. At the end of these didactic activities that will last from January to, let's say, the end of June, starting of July, there will be the 2-week workshop. And this session is something that is really mandatory, and they will stress you because the didactic activities will be as the project in the real environment does. So this is exactly, let's say, a simulation of the real environment. The first part of the didactics from January to the end of June will be 3 days a week, or 2 or 3 days a week. So Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday, Friday, and some Saturday. The workshop will be 2 weeks long together. So if someone of you is a working student, we need to discuss also this opportunity, and you need to negotiate with your actual, let's say, boss, the situation that are related to your presence. So this is relevant, and this is also fixed in the calendar that you will receive while the course is approaching. Let's say in the second part of the course, the second semester will be something that is related to the internship part and final graduation project. Also, we will have some, let's say, interchange of information and also some update with the user experience UX talk and some period of reviewing the final project work, but you will work mainly in developing your internship activities. For the ones that is a worker students, we can discuss also with your actual enterprises how to transform maybe your job in a, let's say, internship, if this is, let's say, certainly way interesting for you. Otherwise, you will have the same profile or process or opportunity that we will give to the other students. As you know, we are teacher, but also we are researcher, and we defined some, let's say, technical element also to give you a more in-depth evaluation about your learning and your profile. So we defined a special evaluation scale in relation to the design attitude, and we will give you a couple of assessments. These are self-assessment given by this kind of self-evaluation tool. This will give you one dimension of your, let's say, attitude before the master and your attitude after the end of the master. And this will be relevant because this will help also us to customize your processes. And in this, there is our, let's say, effort that we spend in the employability part. So we inserted inside the master a counseling service where we will have a specific interview with you, and we will do this matching in between the internship opportunity that we have and also your attitude. This is something that will, let's say, that position the master at really top level in terms of, let's say, employability effort. And also the internship are really valuable internship in Italy and internationally. We are also open to suggestion coming from the students. These suggestions have to arrive with right time. So we cannot have in September a request for a company that we need 2 months to achieve. But we had last year some students that were really motivated for some company, and we helped them to, let's say, realize their dream with our, let's say, commitment and also with our intercession in relation with the company that hosted the internship, okay? I think I closed the circle in terms of communication for you. The only one that remains is that we are closing the, let's say, the enrollment part and also the selection of the candidate for the second edition. Fortunately, we received a lot of candidates, and for that reason, the real motivated one in your, let's say, the present in this time is really welcome to apply early, because there's a possibility that we will close the classroom also in advance in relation to the.
Sorry, Venanzio. Actually, there is a small mistake in the slide. It's not November the 30th, the deadline, but October.
These was the ones that we were looking yesterday.
Sorry about that. So the admission is going to close end of October. Please check the website for more information. As Venanzio told you, the master welcomes candidates with both degree in design and psychology, but we also welcome people coming from the social, human science, design, engineering, because user experience is a very inclusive field, and you can be trained to this discipline also if you don't have a background specifically in design and psychology. Of course, we have a preference for designers and psychologists for obvious reasons, but we are also open to welcome other backgrounds. And work experience is considered a plus. So if you have a work experience, we will consider this as a potential criteria for admission. And also important practical information: if you are an undergraduate and you will receive your bachelor by March, April 2022, you can still apply because you can start the master while waiting for the final graduation, provided that this will happen before April 2022. So these are the list. This is the list of documents that you should provide. As you can see, there are not many. The application is quite straightforward. CV in English, motivation letter. If you have an English certificate is welcome. Otherwise, please apply anyway, because we will check your English proficiency during the admission interview. If you have academic honors, letter of references, publications, please add. We will consider as add-on to your curriculum.
And also portfolio for designers.
Portfolio, of course, for people who come from the design field. Admission steps are really easy, 3 steps. You submit your application through the admission portal of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Please be aware that it's Università Cattolica that will receive your application. We will assess your application. We will call you for the admission interview, which will take place online via Teams, and will be entirely in English language. And then you will receive a feedback from the Commission regarding your potential admission or refusal.
Okay, so thanks, Andrea. And please remember that all the application have to be done by the portal of UNICAT. So these are the links, and the QR code should work in giving you the right access to the, let's say, application, because the master is, let's say, hosted for bureaucratic question in Università Cattolica. So you need to follow the rules of Università Cattolica. For sure, POLI.design, we can give you all the, let's say, information, but the application are there. Just to answer to the question that are given by Veronica and another anonymous attendee, Veronica, I think you get the answer from Andrea in relation to the, let's say, the English certification. I think is not needed, no more answer is needed. So if you have a certification, this is good, but this is not mandatory for the interview. During the interview, we will evaluate the level of your English, just not the proficiency, just to verify if you are able to attend the classroom. The second question is interesting because you asked how do we choose our final project subject? Is it a personal choice or it's a real brief? This year, the final project is connected to the project work that we had. So any students have to, let's say, give a personal answer to a specific project. But this can be discussed during the workshop. Maybe there can be a sort of reflection on the internship or something that is practically connected with the learnings, but also with the practical activities that you will give. So there will be not only theoretical part, but always there will be a mixed option about, let's say, reflection and practice. This is our approach because we know that UX, you need to practice UX to learn more, and you need to have more opportunity to define project, just because in the UX world, a really good portfolio is needed to have, let's say, opportunity to have access to good job position. Okay, this is the question. I don't know if I answered.
One last recommendation. You already warned about the fact that the end of October is near, so the deadline for admission is near. We have received already several applications, so there are still places left, but of course the number of places is reducing, so competition will get higher in order to be admitted. So my suggestion is, following today's presentation, if you are interested, if you are motivated, please give us a phone call, drop us an email. We will answer your questions. We will clarify your doubts. We can schedule a one-to-one telephonical meeting in order to meet us, directors of the master, to understand your needs, to give you advice about the question if this master is for you or not. Don't be shy. Ask us questions. If you don't want now in this presentation to share your personal questions, please call us, but apply as soon as possible, because places are really saturated very fast. So don't wait to the last moment to submit your application. Submit your application, have an interview, and then decide.
Okay, we hope to be on time. I don't know, more or less.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Professors Gagioli and Arquilla. I just wanted to ask you if you could maybe offer us some more information about the internship opportunities. So what type of companies are they held in, or what kind of startups?
Yeah, I think the list of the company for this year and also the list of the prospect company for the next year are in this kind of list. As you can see, there is a, let's say, big Telefonica company, so international consultancy company, and little startup with, let's say, high perspective and also with specific role for UX designers. So also this is the quality of this kind of master. So we have a differential approach, and also some students asked, for example, for research-based project, and we had the opportunity to discuss with company. Someone went to, let's say, production company, for example, a company that works in the fashion industry and developing UX for the fashion industry. And we had the opportunity to found the right company for the right person. And also, let's say, a multinational company in the field of, let's say, insurance, for example, is another client with an internship in Germany, because the students were looking for an international perspective. So we are open, and we will try to do our best to, let's say, match the students' let's say, dreams, but also capability, because we want to be objective in terms of prospect to the students, what really they can achieve as a result, without, let's say, giving a real perspective and expectations. And we think that is a good way, good opportunity. Also, we have always on dialogue, as Andrea was saying before, so we are open, we reply to the email, maybe not in the same day, but with some hour of delay, we reply to the email, and we are in direct contact with all the students. We have, let's say, I cannot see this, but we have a WhatsApp group with the students. So, and we have a direct contact because we have also a tutor that has almost the same age, and that have a direct dialogue with the student that follow all the process. So this is, let's say, a really qualitative point for the master. And this was really appreciated by the first.
If I may add, because I think it's really an added value in terms of experience, students' experience, we have two full-time tutors dedicated to the master, which is, if you compare to other masters in this range, it's really unique. Why? Because we want to ensure the maximum quality of experience to our students. We want that our students, they get an answer to their question within hours, not within days. We are fully committed to address all your needs, also in logistic terms. So we will try to help you have a pleasant experience in Milan, and help you organize your life in Milan. For this, also Università Cattolica provides several advice and information. In conclusion, I'm talking especially to psychologists, being a psychologist, considering the market opportunities and outlook for psychology, which is not really great in this moment. I think that user experience is a great new opportunity in terms of professional, let's say, possibilities. And I see that in terms of internships, psychologists were very attractive for companies. And they found an internship also in companies that normally are not interested in psychological profiles. So I think that this is the same for designers. It's very attractive also for designers' worlds, but especially for psychologists, this master, it's an additional professional opportunity that you really should consider.
Yeah, we can say this breakthrough opportunity. So you want to break the standard rules and move in another perspective. So you can see here, this is the picture made the last day of activity in Cattolica, and then we move it to a restaurant to have, let's say, a lunch together. So the idea is that the classroom is also outside the classroom, and also we organize some meetings to stay together. Here there is our tutor, and there is Davide Genco, our co-director. There is me here. So the idea is that, as you can see from the faces, you cannot see all the full face because they are covered by a mask. But as you can see from the eyes of the students, there's a really good engagement, and also the idea is to create a classroom. This classroom was on distance for 3 of the 4 months of the didactic activity. So they only meet each one other only in 2
the last 4 weeks.
Yeah. And the capability to stay together, how they share their knowledge, how they become friends apart from colleagues, it was for us a good, let's say, discover, and also we think a good opportunity.
Thank you, professors. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Gaggioli and Professor Arquilla. It sure sounds like an amazing opportunity and a very nurturing environment. We still have a couple of minutes, so I was wondering if you can maybe offer some examples of projects that have been completed and developed during the master.
We worked in a, let's say, in an open scenario with a complex project. I can see the topic of the project works that we followed last year, but this is not the same that we want to follow the next year, or maybe it can happen, but these topics are really open. So the first one was the future of work. Everyone we are again in a, let's say, emergency, and we are discussing about which would be our next future or new normal side way of life. And we were looking to new tool for UX tool for, let's say, the new work environment in collaboration with Ernst & Young, that is an international consultancy that is doing consultancy also in how the organization will evolve after the pandemic. And this was the project work activities. The other activity that we developed was with 2, let's say, company coming in a different way in relation to the world of mobility. One was a motorcycle and application for a motorcycle company, just to enlarge the relation in between the producer of a motor bike and the user, overcoming the limits of the, let's say, the service, the defined service step, and moving from a more experiential, let's say, relation and open relation. And the last one that was the most, let's say, challenging, because it is a real new environment, was automotive UX with an international company that is moving from an ICT perspective to become, let's say, a supplier for the new automotive sector. So the ones characterized by full electric and, let's say, almost self-driving car. So these are scenario relevant, and the commitment of the company was perfect. Their presence in the classroom was amazing, and also they really appreciated both the effort but also the quality of the proposal made by the students, because many times this topic that seems to be really high as a perspective are interesting because they are approached by students that are completely in target with the user that they want to achieve. So this is something that gives value to the process. Okay.
Thank you very much, professors.
Okay,
thank you again for your very interesting and very useful presentation. Thank you for the time you've given us and for all the questions you answered. If there are no more questions, I want to remind the participants that we are going to take a short break for lunch and then continue with many more presentations. You can check them out at the link in the chat. I will send it to you now. And of course, it has been my honor to present today's presentation with the professors. Again, if you're interested in the user experience psychology master, please make sure to observe the deadlines and reach out for all the questions you might have. Thank you again. I wish you a very nice day, and thank you all for connecting to today's Digital Open Day. Thank you very much
for this hosting, and thank you for organizing.
Bye-bye.
It was our pleasure to have you.